History. Your hoodie.
What kind of history were you thinking about?
I was afraid of Paris making history.
Yes,
Why are you afraid of it? Why are you afraid of it?
December.
It's just fact.
In December, these guys. But anyways, we're gonna give a credit to Paris basketball on this podcast. A credit, well-deserved credit, and credit we probably must have shared before. Of course, we're very dependent on games that we have before our podcast, and Paris basketball and a lot of times played on Friday, but we cannot ignore this amazing victory in Piraeus against Olympiacos, one of the best EuroLeague teams for years, being up by 20, having Peace and Friendship Stadium in complete silence and just dominating the EuroLeague, basketball that we always imagined as something, untouchable. Paris guys just came from the EuroCup and bust everyone's asses. So this Q&A, this is our bonus Q&A podcast. The entire podcast will be available only for BN Plus members. So make sure to subscribe to Basket News Plus on basketnews.com/plus. But at the start of the podcast, we have to address this huge win against Olympiacos. The best game of the season, as it was suggested by one of our BN Plus members, Tutis.
I would think so.
I think
It's
definitely
it's right there at the top.
the game of the round for sure. We don't have.
It's a low bar.
Yeah.
It's a really low bar.
But are we first answering the question directly? Because if that's the case, to answer that question, I would say we got to look at other candidates for the game of the season. And for me, it's still that game between Panathinaikos and Olympiacos that happened in the round 8. We did a reaction to it, not without a reason, with Augustus, because it was an epic game, as it says in the thumbnail of that reaction. So for me, that's still because of how close it was. It only got away at the last 2 minutes. For me, that's still the game with all the emotional baggage that it carried. That was the game of the season so far for me.
It's a fair argument, but I don't know, with all that happened in the second half with the 20, then in 3 minutes and 30 seconds the lead is just gone, and all the big shots made in the end, and just the storyline keeps on going.
I would give it to them if the comeback actually was completed. Then we would definitely say, "Oh my God, what a story that was!" In 3 minutes, they come back.
You're just an Olympiacos fan. Just say that.
Just paid by Olympiacos now. I mean, Galapagos brothers.
I'm kidding.
Right.
I don't know. It's
I couldn't actually hear what Gytis was saying because I cannot believe how pretty he is today. Right?
Yeah,
I'm used to Gytis in a hoodie.
Yeah.
Gytis with.
He's ready for some big event tonight, huh?
First of all, some stuff on his beard,
First of all,
you're ready for some big event tonight, huh? Or what?
First of all, I'm usually
new iPhone launch. New iPhone.
Sophisticated Gytis.
Are you launching a new iPhone today?
First of all, guys, I'm usually the billboard of this podcast. They say, put on this T-shirt to promote this, put on this, put on that, and I just, I don't say no.
You the Times Square, huh?
So, so now when I get to express myself, I show to the people that I'm not living in the 1984
That's the second
scenario.
time I've seen him with that kind of outfit in 3 years, maybe.
Right, but anyways.
You look just as good as Paris are playing basketball.
10 wins in a row. 10 wins in a row. It's ridiculous. But about that game, like you said, for me, if we're talking about is it the best game of the season, for me, it's more of the time is about the fans and how the fans just came back alive after that spurt of 22-0. That was what made it. What ranks it a bit higher, I guess, because steal after steal, it was incredible to see how just Paris kept losing the ball around that sort of middle, around the free throw line area. Whether it's like going to penetrate into the paint or playing pick and roll, every single time around that area, ball gets stolen and Olympiacos goes on a fast break.
And Luka Vildoza was a big part of it. I think it was the best quarter of Luka Vildoza that we've seen in Olympiacos so far. But then I loved what Augustus emphasized. What was the first basket that Paris basketball scored after experiencing a run 0-22.
Yeah, you allow 22 points in 3.5 minutes, and then Nadir Hifi, one pick and roll, 17 seconds or 18 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Sasha Vezenkov is right there, hand in his face, fade away, 3-point
from like
basket.
8 meters. Wasn't at the 3-point line either, and he was like, he was fading, as you said.
If you could actually ask for a Nadir Hifi trademark shot, that would be the shot. Fading away to the left side with 18 seconds, 17 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Hand in his face, doesn't really matter. I don't care about anything else, and he's making that shot. I know he
then missed one after.
He had an air ball after that, but that's the Nadir Hifi experience.
Yeah.
And but oh my God, the shots he's making, like those threes, the fadeaway threes, the ones he had against Panathinaikos, he had those threes in huge moments. Now against Olympiacos, and he's like one of the 3 guys, I think, in the EuroLeague that is averaging around more than 12 points in less than 20 minutes. Like only 3 guys in the EuroLeague does that. I think Filip Petrushev, Nadir Hifi, and one other guy that I don't remember right now. But that just tells you everything about Nadir Hifi.
And then TJ Shorts had a very crucial shot as well from 3-point line. Where you talk about his struggles in the beginning of the season shooting the 3-pointers. We're like, oh, how is this guy so efficient? One of the best guys in the league without a 3-pointer. But we're talking about this 10-game winning streak. He's shooting 52%. He made 10 out of 19 3-pointers in this run. And generally now those numbers have gone up to 37% in the season. So I guess it's not the case that you can leave TJ Shorts wide open anymore from the 3-point.
And the shot, the basket, that once again reminded us how unusual the EuroLeague leaders that we have right now was Maudolo with this 3-pointer with 21 seconds to play when the score was tied. Okay, Paris basketball had a successful. They were successful defensively, and then on their shot clock they had 17 seconds, and the game clock was 21. Usually, if you're even kind of open, you try to run until the clock goes down. But Modolo just got that shot again. 7 seconds into the possession with 17 left on the shot clock. He just shoots the 3-pointer.
But he was wide open. Let's be honest.
I mean, it was Paris way open. Even in this case, you're not taking risks. You're trying to hold the ball as much as possible, take the shot, and then
you leave 4 seconds, like you said. If you take the shot at the last second, if it was 21 and 17 left on the shot.
4 seconds, but the ball goes in the air. It bounces back off the rim. You basically have no time to run any offense from Limbago's side. So like this shot, I was like, oh my God, this is in only Paris basketball.
Yeah, because that's what they do. Like if on the first screen, they don't care. If on the first screen, they're wide open, like their first option works, we're shooting that. We're not waiting to shoot a bad shot in the end of the possession because that might lead to a transition basket. We might lose the ball later. If we have an opportunity, like we are using that first screen because European basketball is like, we set the first screen, but first screen is only to wait for the second screen. And like, they are using every option out there. Some teams don't. A lot of teams don't do that.
You know this term in Lithuanian we use like giving birth or like birthing. This basketball is like giving birth. We use this term a lot when the offense gets stuck. There's a lot of actions, nothing's happening, and at the end of the day, you shoot the shot with 2 seconds left.
You mean when we are watching Barcelona or Fenerbahce, right?
Or
most teams to say that, right?
Most teams in the EuroLeague, and I feel like that's why Paris is so beautiful to watch because their offense is just flowing. They take the first, second option, they run in transition like crazy. Those possessions where it takes like less than 3 seconds to go from one end of the court to the other, and you get the basket back. It's an incredible team to watch, and that's why it's never a boring game. And that's why probably this question came up as, was this the game of the season? Because both teams actually ran on the break quite a bit. Olympiacos also used their transition opportunities. And actually, we talk about Paris, like their offense is one thing that's emphasized so much, but on the defensive end, they're, I think, third in least points allowed in the league. So
no, they're 6th, but they have the 3rd best defensive rating.
Oh,
that's even more important.
No, they're 4th. I looked. They're 4th.
That's huge. Wow.
And they're
playing at that pace.
Yeah,
that's solid.
Yeah.
They're top 3 defensively. Wow. Okay. And only 8th best offensively. Okay. That's nice.
Yeah.
I think that Tuomas Iisalo should be super proud of what I'm sure he's watching Paris basketball. He is the godfather, the architect of this unique basketball system. And I had a privilege to have to interview Tuomas Iisalo last year, and I just read that article one more time this morning, and I was surprised because I forgot those things. I was surprised that he actually picked Olympiacos as the team he enjoyed the most watching. I mean, it was last season, so yeah, he was talking about Olympiacos 2 years ago with Sasha Vezenkov. And he said that Olympiacos have the same idea that we have with our quantum, that the whole is more than sum of the parts. If the parts fit well together, everybody feels that if you're all competing for the same thing, you can achieve something pretty incredible. And the things that they're doing at the moment, they're just simply incredible. And I mean...
Do you think it takes away some credit from Tiago Splitter, though? Because we're emphasizing, it's Isalo's... what he's left behind, sort of.
Yeah, I see your point. Yeah.
But look,
because to successfully run something that was established is never an easy task. I don't think it's easy.
And Tiago Splitter, for sure, he deserves... By the way, I think he's Tiago. Probably, Tiago Splitter.
Probably.
He deserves a lot of credit, but it's like...
Seems
we had we had a lot of examples like that. If you remember, Šaras left Žalgiris, Martin Schiller took over, but basically...
But he changed the system.
Martin Schiller?
Yeah, obviously.
But he was...
But he had the base of what was built before. Yeah,
exactly.
And that's why they were so successful.
Talent and chemistry.
So, Real Madrid is another example.
Choose Matteo. Yeah,
he
there
kept
are
the same idea.
Examples like that. So it would be not fair not to give credit to Iisalo, but also it would not be fair to give credit to Tiago Splitter. So they both good. They're both good.
I'll just go even further than that, saying like that system that Paris has right now is, I would say, one of the best, if not the best, in the entire world. What they have, because their offensive rating last year was 127 almost. That's like the best offensive rating I've seen ever. No EuroLeague team or NBA team has ever had that in history. I know that was EuroCup, weaker competition, okay, but you're seeing what they're doing this season. 8th in offense, 3rd best defense. They have 10 wins in a row. Nobody expected that. And I just think that system maximizes the potential of those players that they have. They fit the best together. But just watching at what they're doing, and then Tuomas Iisalo goes to the NBA, and Memphis was the last team in offensive rating, dead last, 30th in the NBA last season. And I know they had a lot of injuries last year and all that stuff, but now they're 5th, and that jump is definitely could be attributed to a lot to Tuomas Iisalo, because even guys that are covering Memphis each and every game, they're saying that, Tuomas Iisalo have changed this and that and implemented a lot of things that Paris were doing. So
he's not just an assistant coach. He's one of the main guys there, right?
He's the first assistant, I think.
Yeah. So. Top assistant role, and that's actually, we were talking on the podcast before that to get for a European coach to get that right away immediately, it just tells you how good he is and how NBA people acknowledge what he's doing. So, and you could see that against Olympiacos. I mean, that the defensive system, the hedging defense, the active hands, the aggressiveness, the energy, but offensively they were just. First of all, I wrote to you, we could do a 2-hour podcast talking about Paris, but I'll try to be short. They were just, with TJ Shorts on the court, they were just attacking the defensive targets, weak spots. There's Sasha Vezenkov, Alec Peters involved in every possession against TJ Shorts. Thomas Walker was always nearby TJ Shorts. They would just set a screen with 20 seconds remaining to get him off the ball. They're doing that every game. You remember the game against Žalgiris? Dovydas Giedraitis was almost never nearby TJ Shorts. And their rotations, the starting lineup plays 4 minutes, then everybody's out to keep the freshness. There's the same rotation in every game. It works. and just the Gortat screens inside the paint. It's so beautiful to watch. The changing of the angle of the screen, and it's been working so well for how long now? They won the Champions League with Iisalo in Bonn. More than half of the team went to Paris. They won the EuroCup. Now they're 10 wins in the EuroLeague, and Tuomas Iisalo is in the NBA, and Memphis is playing very well. So
the guy cracked the code, man.
Yeah.
And how Tuomas Iisalo came up with this idea, with this system. In that interview that we made together last year, he said that I remember I asked him about the system, and he said, what I thought about it was also like, what is our basketball identity? Everybody always thinking of what things will change in basketball in the future or stuff like that. But I remember Jeff Bezos from Amazon who said people do not ask often enough what won't change. Like nobody will come to say, hey, Amazon, I wish you were more expensive and delivered slower. That's not going to change in the next 5 years. So we really started thinking about what things are not going to change. And we came up with 3 things.
This was just a short clip of the entire Q&A podcast available just for BM Plus members. In the podcast, we spoke much more about Paris, almost an hour actually. Also looked at the situation of the Turkish teams in the EuroLeague. Also, what impact Keenan Evans might have on Olympiacos when he eventually returns. And also the situation of Lonnie Walker, plus many, many more questions. If you want to see the full episode, make sure to go to basketnews.com/plus and become a BN Plus member.